Bobby Clancy was an Irish singer and musician best known as a member of the Clancy Brothers, one of the most successful and influential Irish folk groups. He accompanied his songs on five-string banjo, guitar, bodhrán, and harmonica. Early years: Bobby Clancy was born in Carrick-on-Sue, County Tipperary, Ireland to Robert J. Clancy and Johanna McGrath. He was the twin brother of Joan Clancy. Clancy left home in the late 1940s to join the Royal Air Force, where he travelled all over Europe, including Greece and Egypt, where he learned many folk songs. He later joined his older brothers Paddy Clancy and Tom Clancy in New York City, where they worked as actors. The trio would sometimes sing, informally beginning the group later known as the Clancy Brothers. In 1955 Bobby returned to Ireland to settle down and run his father's insurance business. While his youngest brother Liam Clancy took his place in America and officially formed the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macomb with Paddy, Tom Clancy and friend Tommy Macomb, Bobby forged his own solo career, as well as performing the other half of two duos with sister Peg Clancy and an American folk singer named Sharon Collin. Bobby and sister Peg Clancy recorded 2 albums together, Songs from Ireland in 1962 and As We Roved Out in 1964, and toured as a duo, appearing on several Irish television programmes in the 1960s, such as Zosamus Said. The other duo, Bobby Clancy and Sharon Collin, appeared on Irish television's Ballad Session in 1965. According to several newspaper articles on Google News Archives, they performed some shows in the United States. As a solo, Bobby brought his show to the small screen with his own TV series on Irish television, When Bobby Clancy Sings. He married Moira Mooney, a schoolteacher in the mid-1960s. Together they had 4 children. 3 daughters, Roisin in 1965, Eorf in 1966, and Aideen in 1979, and 1 son, Finbar in 1970. Eorf Clancy and Finbar Clancy followed in their father's footsteps and now tour as Irish folk singers. In 2007, son Finbar became a member of the High Kings. The Clancy Brothers: When Tommy Macomb left in 1969, Bobby took his place and became a member of the Clancy Brothers for the first time. The 4 brothers, Paddy, Tom, Bobby and Liam, released 3 studio albums, Clancy Brothers Christmas, Flowers in the Valley and Welcome to Our House. The first 2 albums were produced under Columbia Records, while the latter was released under Audio Fidelity Records. Bobby's initial tenure with the Clancy Brothers was short-lived. According to fans who spoke with the group over the years, but unverified in the media, he and Liam got into an argument which resulted in Bobby quitting the group. Bobby resumed his solo work, releasing a solo album Good Times When Bobby Clancy Sings and appearing live on a compilation album from a 1974 German folk festival, both in 1974. Living in Mattapoisett, Massachusetts in the early 1970s, Bobby made a surprise cameo on his brother's Brockton, Massachusetts TV special in 1974, where he led the brothers and current 4th member Louis Killen on Mountain Tay. In 1976, the Clancy Brothers disbanded for a few months. Liam Clancy and Louis Killen left the group and remaining brothers Paddy and Tom decided to go on a hiatus. In 1977 plans went into motion to regroup and Paddy and Tom asked Bobby to join. The 3 brothers recruited their nephew, singer-songwriter Robbie O'Connell. The quartet toured part-time, performing 3-month-long tours each year in March, August and November only in the United States. They released 2 albums, both live, one in 1982 and the other in 1988, Clancy Brothers and Robbie O'Connell Live, and Tunes and Tales of Ireland respectively. During the remaining part of the year, Bobby continued running the insurance business in Carrick-on-Sue and continued performing solo in Ireland. Youngest brother Liam Clancy rejoined Bobby, Paddy and Robbie in 1990 when brother Tom was diagnosed and later succumbed to stomach cancer in November 1990. The Clancy Brothers and Robbie O'Connell, now Paddy, Bobby and Liam performed more frequently than they had in the 1970s and 1980s, appearing on numerous TV shows in America and Ireland, notably Live with Regis and Kathy Lee in 1991, 1993 and 1995. Bob Dylan's The 30th Anniversary Concert Celebration in 1992, and RTA Pamela's Lifelines in 1994. The quartet released the group's first studio album in over 20 years, Older But No Wiser, in late 1995, an album title coined by Bobby's wife Moira. Soon after the album's release, Liam Clancy and Robbie O'Connell left the group. Bobby and Paddy continued performing with Bobby's son Finbar Clancy and friend Eddie Dillon from Boston. This new lineup toured until November 1998 when Paddy died from lung cancer. Later years and death, now as a trio, the Clancys and Eddie Dillon recorded 2 live albums, Clancy Sing-Along Songs and Once in a Lifetime, An Evening of Fine Irish Music. Bobby Clancy released an additional 2 solo albums, The Quiet Land and Make Me a Cup, in 1999 and 2000 on the Arc Albums label, a recording studio and company in Fairhaven, Massachusetts owned by Eddie Dillon. In 1999 Bobby was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis and by 2000 he was unable to perform on his feet. The trio had to do all their concerts sitting down. By March 2002, he was unable to perform and had to quit a scheduled tour. On September 6, 2002, Bobby Clancy died at the age of 75. He left behind a twin sister, siblings Peg and Liam, his wife, 4 children, and 2 grandchildren. At the time of his death he was back home in Ireland, long since living at the home of his parents on William Street in Carrick-on-Sue, the home where he was born. Solo discography guest appearances, 1962 a So Early in the Morning a Tradition LP Rocodisc CD, 1963 a Peg and Bobby Clancy, Songs from Ireland a Tradition LP Collectibles CD, 1964 a As We Roved Out a London Globe LP, 1974 a Irish Folk Festival a Interchord LP CD, 1974 a Good Times When Bobby Clancy Sings a Talbot LP, 1999 a The Quiet Land a Arc CD, 1999 a Clancy Sing-Along Songs a Arc CD, 1999 a Cherish the Ladies, At Home a CA Victor CD, 2000 a Cherish the Ladies, The Girls Won't Leave the Boys Alone a Windham Hill CD, 2000 a Make Me a Cup a Arc CD, 2001 a Once in a Lifetime, An Evening of Fine Irish Music a Arc CD, 2002 a Enolf Clancy, Silvery Moon a Appleseed CD. Other appearances can be found on the Clancy Brothers discography. References